Right, from the flea
Okay, we
market.
miss you, Ate Sam. I hope next week you'll be here.
And Kuya Ted is going to be going over there to give them tickets as part of their work.
Yes, okay. So,
Well,
let's get back.
We have a lot, and we're going to be combining kind of like these things about like the efforts, and Atilana is a good person to be part of our show over here.
We
because,
missed her last month.
She kind of
I
like
know.
knows about like all the work that's going to be done. But last time we had just have like a very few opportunity to really interview and to get into the bottom of the three things that he wanted to kind of
To
like
do?
see, and the changes that he wants to do, and the reason why he was kind of like running there. Let's welcome him back into our show over here, Miss a very young Filipino who put his who basically plays or tinugunan niya ang panawagan ng ating mga kababayan para po sa posisyon na para sa ating congressional representative from Guam, Mr. Karlo Dizon.
Hi, good morning, Kuya Roy.
Good
Thanks for
morning.
having me here.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Carlo is over here. It's like I don't kind of like see your look over here. You're scruffy. now.
Yeah,
You have a
I
long
haven't
neck
had
this thing,
I haven't had a chance to shave, so I have to take care of that later.
Been busy waving on the road.
Yes.
I know that one,
yeah.
and he's certainly getting a nice tan over there. Because the last time I saw him and I called him up, it's like, hey, it's nice wave over there, right in the intersection of ITC intersection.
Yes, I think it's important for to see people out there as they're going to work or coming home. It's really exciting, and it's a good way for us to get all our volunteers together. So they're fun.
Yes, it was. Well, certainly, like make sure that you do put in and do your what do you call it, sunscreen over there, Carla, because we don't want you to be. We don't have an official dermatologist on island. So, but we know Kuya Roy is going to be bringing one hopefully soon, sooner than later, so to be able to kind of like address these things. And Atilana can give you an advice or two for having been in the helping field for a number of years over the community, just donating things. Well, Carlo, one of the things
Sure.
that people have asked, and tinatanong po ng ating mga kababayan dito is that, ano nga ba talaga ang nag-udyok sa'yo? What really like made you to say, hey, you know what? I would like to run for public office. And guess what? I'm also would like to run not just this, not just that, but I'd like to run
But
as
congressman, instead of being a
our
senator.
congressional representative. So take it away, Carlo.
Yeah.
Let's inform our listening sa ating pong nakamatatas na Tagalog. Ipaalam po natin sa ating mga kababayan. Bakit po? Bakit ang tanong?
No, sure. So, background ko talaga is in international and national politics, so it fit perfectly for this role. But for me, I thought that it was time na we got together as a community, and especially in the Filipino community, and really went for different positions in our politics that would inspire other Filipinos to come together and know that we should be a part of this political community as much as we are in business or in the social aspects of living here. When I first came here, when I was growing up, there were no Filipino senators, or Atisama was actually the first one, right?
Filipina.
Well, I think some was the
Filipina,
first
yeah.
Filipina, but we actually did talk about that one, that in the history since under 1950s, there were only five
Right.
individuals.
Right.
This is actually, if I can recall, I might miss one, but the most recent one, of course, is like Senator Sam Mabini, Senator Dennis Rodriguez, Senator Jim Espaldon, Senator Dr. Espaldon, Senator Oscar Delfin, and then there was one other person that actually won. So probably 5 or 6
Yeah.
only. But could you imagine for like right directly after the war, there were already a strong number of Filipinos over here on the island, and
Right.
out of that one, 60 years of being like having a really sizable group of Filipinos
Sure.
over here. We've only elected around 6
Right, and
individuals.
so sa laki ng population natin, it really it is time that we put our foot forward and get involved, because yung mga decisions, the decisions that are being made is in Aganya affect all of us. So in effects, for example, one of the things one piece of legislation na gusto naming ma-accomplish if I was to win this is to rekindle the conversation about the friends and family visa waiver program that I think Senator Guthertz proposed earlier. Something like this is affects our not just our social lives here, or not just our economic lives, but it affects the quality of life of our community.
And could you just expand a little bit about? I'm quite familiar about that, and probably a lot of our listening audience over there is not quite familiar about that proposed bill.
No, sure. So right now, it takes a really long time to get here. If lahat tayo dito, I think we have mga relatives in the Philippines, and right now, whether for tourist purposes or otherwise, it takes a really long time to not only go through the visa process, but actually fulfill the requirements. And even then, even if you fulfill all the requirements, it's not sure that you would qualify for that program. And so, what we really want to argue is that, a lot of us here have been here for decades. And there are a lot of instances when, let's say, you have a family member in the hospital, or there's a funeral, or there's a wedding, where, you cannot plan these things a year in advance, a couple of, several months in advance. And so it's really important to make the argument that, one, this is something that would benefit the quality of life of our community, but two, it also has economic benefits. And so, I think na-mention ko last time na nandito ko na our approach really is to create a stronger economy, because that benefits everyone, whether you're in the Filipino community or other parts of or other communities in this island. And this is a quick and very beneficent way of doing that. So
certainly, and that is one of the goal for that one. And then you have also indicated people are always saying, and people are always clamoring about this one. How do you feel about the utilization of or the extension of the Medicare program to our many kababayans who had toiled and worked for many, many years, but unfortunately still continues to have that wonderful ties in the Philippines and being able to retire, but at the same time could not do so because of the fact that they're not going to be without a health insurance.
Yeah, no, I think that's that we definitely should allow that to happen. And nung when this was proposed for the first time a few months ago, the biggest fear was that you'd have an influx of Filipinos from the West Coast coming in and settling here just for the purposes of being able to use Medicare in St. Luke's. But one, there are ways around that. We can create a sort of mechanism, for example, that you have to have lived in Guam, like have a residency requirement. You have to have lived in Guam for 5 years or more, perhaps, to be able to take advantage of this program. Secondly, St. Luke's is a world-class facility and it's international accredited. And it's just, you're talking about, as you've said, elder citizens who have worked for years and years and who have spent their lives putting their time and energy into this program that could benefit them. And so when they finally need it, they're faced with a choice of either, flying to the Philippines where they can be with their loved ones, or going to Hawaii or LA, for example, just to get the operations that they need. And so this is, I think, one of the core pieces of legislation that we want to work on. And, again, every time we're out in the community, it's an opportunity to meet with the people, and issues like these are brought to our attention. And we really do want to work with our community in the months ahead to make sure that we can push for legislation like this.
What's the number one thing that you'd like to be able to bring forth a legislation or an effort that would certainly affect the Filipino community other than the two mentioned earlier?
I think it's we need to think of ways to have a more beneficent relationship with our veterans, right? I think this is something, and this is something that affects not just us here, our veterans here, but as well our veterans as well in the mainland. And I think when there are a lot of members of our community who have been a part of that war, and who are struggling to make ends meet. I think it's time that we give back, and so it's really something that I hope to benefit Filipinos not just here but in in the mainland U.S. as well.
What are you think that the challenges that are facing us Filipinos over here in Guam?
I think there are a lot of challenges, and actually. Having done this and now doing this and engaging in this campaign, I'm beginning to realize that our community is stronger now than it has ever been before. We have Filipino magazines. Now, when I was growing up, we didn't have that, right? And it's really exciting. But at the same time, we have a long way to go before we feel that we are a part of this island as much as anyone else is. And I understand that a lot of us here, all of us here, technically immigrated here, but at the same time, it's also true that we have become a part of this island's identity and history, and it's time that we go forward and look at ways to affect changes, whether in politics or in business, but really take positions of leadership in this community, because we are 33% of the population, but we're very much underrepresented politically.
If I'm a Filipino listening out there, and what will be the one thing that probably advise, or what would I probably have in my mind? Why should I vote for a Karlo Dizon out there?
I think you should vote for us. Vote for me if you like the ideas we put forth. The Filipino ako, I was born in the Philippines. I grew up here, but really, we want to send the message that anyone, whether you're young or old, whether you're Filipino or Chamorro, anyone can go for office in this island. And if we do win this election, it will be a testament to this widespread support out there for this candidacy, and not just within Filipinos. But really, what I want to implore our listeners is to get involved. Not just in our campaign. If you don't support us, if you don't support whomever candidate, Atisam, for example. But really, we are involved in a lot of our associations. We have a really strong community of Filipino associations based on provinces. I'm personally a member of the Bataan Association. But beyond that, let's look at other. Let's go that one extra step and get involved politically. Let's join campaigns and start. Because that's the only way we can really push for the things we need for